Hi, this is Bruce, and welcome to my brief tutorial on the Milviz DHC-3 Otter. My goal is to take us from a cold and dark condition up to taxi ready. And I'm using P3D version 4.3, active sky for the weather, chase plane for the views, ultimate traffic live for the aircraft out there, and also for P3D's aircraft are included. I'm on Windows 10, i5 is overclocked, SSD drive, and NVIDIA GTX 1070 for those that are curious. So let's go ahead and get started. I just applied all the options here so people can see if they haven't seen them before. We're just going to go ahead now and take off the cold cover, and then we'll go ahead and take off the reds there on the wings, and then we'll take off the chocks and the anchors. Rolling around to the inside, cold and dark as you can see. This little square panel with nothing in it, a missing gauge, if you left click it, the yoke goes away. Left click it, the yoke comes back. Or if you left click on the arms of the yoke, it goes away. I'm going to go ahead and leave it off. Now down here to the parking brake, left click, out it comes. The parking brake is on. Then up here to the master switch, left click. That gives us the power that we need to supply the aircraft and to get things moving. Our fuel gauges have now come alive. They're all three within here. We got the front, the center, and the rear. They're all full, as you can see. Then we're going to go ahead and select the fuel tank that we want to pull the fuel from in order to start the aircraft. It's on off right now. Left clicking rotates it to the left all the way around to the front tank. Right clicking it will move it to the right. Left clicking it then will move it to the left. If you do want to turn it back off again at the end of the flight, you need to use the mouse wheel in the middle and click on that, and it'll go back to the off. So, and that's just a safety feature in this line of aircraft. Also, over here, the magnetos, to turn them off, you need that center mouse wheel click as well, and also the emergency fuel and oil shutoff here is a center mouse wheel click. Those are the three that need to be remembered if you want to get to the off positions. Use those mouse wheel clicks. All right. So the tank's been selected in this case. We'll leave it on the rear. We'll set the altimeter with B on our keyboard, or you can adjust it with that little knob right there. The pitot heat here in the top row middle can be left clicked to on. The nav then, also to let people know we're home here in the second row, can be clicked to on. And what the nav does, I got to show some differences here, is it gives a very steady red on the left, green on the right, and a white at the rear there, okay? And then if we go and look at the others, there's another nav lights right here and nav strobe there. It's in the off position. If you right click, it goes down to the nav lights. When you do that, then what you see outside is something a little different. What we'll get now is a little bit of a flash. You see it's stuttering a little. That's what the nav in this the other nav attached to it with the strobe. And this is steady back here. Now let's go back inside again, and we'll take off the nav lights, and we'll go up to strobe with the left click, clear to the top. Now it says nav strobe, and I've left the nav lights on. Now outside you got a much more pronounced flash, and also the tail white light is strobing as well. I'm not quite sure when somebody would use the nav lights here as opposed to the steady there. I haven't been able to find anything in the literature or in the videos, so if anybody knows, please tell me and we'll all be glad. I'm going to leave the nav strobe then on the off position. I'm going to leave the nav lights on so people know we're home and active within the cockpit. And there's the pitot heat, as you can see. The landing light is here. The beacon is there. We're going to go ahead and turn the beacon on now, right here with a left click. This, by the way, is the instrument lights right there. And then you've got these other features. You can easily read them. Now we're going to go ahead and get the mixture to be full rich here. I'm going to back up so we're not quite so crowded. So we got our mixture full rich. Our fuel booster pump is right here. Left clicking turns that on. Then we're going to prime it 4 or 5 times with this right here. Left click once, twice, 3, 4, 5. Then we can turn the fuel booster pump off. We're going to get this magnetos over here to both with a left click, clear across. The starter switch cover now can be lifted and the switch activated. Bring it up a little bit. There's a good start. It's very quiet at first. Kind of settles down pretty low throaty. You wonder if it's going to catch or not. It will in just a minute. It'll come alive more actively here in a second. I'm just going to creep up the throttle a bit. What I'm aiming for to warm it up is about 1,000 RPM. So we'll just run that up. And what is warming up is, you see here in this gauge there's the oil. Now it's in the green. It's past 50. When it gets past 50, you can go ahead and put your propeller RPM all the way up to the increase position. And assuming it is warmed up, then we can go ahead and get our RPMs between 1200 and 1600. Whichever one runs the smoothest, that's the call at this point. Alright, we're doing really well here. Doors are closed. Alright, and then to taxi, we need to put this into a cruise position. I'll just show you the red dot. It's coming down. It's right there. That's the cruise at the very top. Just one click on my setting took it to the cruise spot, and that's just for better control on the ground when you're taxiing. The power steering switch is here, and I just want to briefly mention this. One click turns the green light on. That's what you want to see when you're taking off. It locks the rear wheel in a straight position, or optionally right-clicking it, just leave that off and take off that way. If you want to use power steering for taxiing all the way up with 2 left clicks, the yellow light now is on, and that will give you a 26-degree turning radius. If you need to turn more than 26 degrees, right-click that thing to the off position, and then use your toe brakes and rudder pedals to get the job done. That's the best thing you can do in that department there. Trims then should be in the neutral. When you're taking off, you'll put your flap settings up to takeoff, which is down here. Just notice there's another climb feature there. You'll back that off when you're climbing. And then down as far as lights go, you've got your landing light here. There's any reason you can turn the strobe on, of course, with the left click rather to the top when you're on the runway. And I think, oh, by the way, these switches here, I found that if you want them to come out, just repeatedly right click. Just click, 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 click like this, and they'll come out. And if you want them to go in, just repeatedly left click, and they'll go back in, like so. It took me a while to figure that out, but again, that's another one of those intuitive pieces. And then this is the slave and free switch, and also push the cage there. So we'll leave that be, and that's where it's going to float right there. We don't want it caged right now. If we get out of kilter, we'll cage it just to get it reset, but we want it uncaged for accuracy. Then we'll turn on our nav master switch here, turn on all of our electronics over there, and I will do a separate video on these. I won't take the time to run through all of those right now. So I think that captures most of everything that has to do with getting this thing ready for taxi. It's just really straightforward and easy to do, not hard at all. Oh, by the way, you'll want to leave your carb heat here in the up cold position, unless you're in some freezing conditions. You want the power you need for takeoff. And that's about it. The rest of it's in the literature. It's not hard to do. It's a fun aircraft to fly. A little low and slow, but a lot of fun. So enjoy, have fun, and comments are always appreciated. See you later. Bye-bye.